No labels, no hype, just a pour and a swipe. Let's get started. Pour left. Copper Fox Rye. Not a fan. Go to golfcast.com or YouTube for the full review. Alright, let's talk about the Copper Fox here. I have a lot of friends in Virginia that really swear by Copper Fox. I've had their product a few times at different festivals, different people's houses, always circling back. But I have to say, I'm a huge rye fan. This one didn't do it for me. So let's go through how I failed so miserably on this blind. I only got 1 out of 4, 25% success rate. Embarrassing right out the gate, but oh well. So let's talk about this. On the nose, I gave it a 2.5. Why? I'm getting some good herbal notes. I'm actually getting a little bit of smoky flavorness, but not your normal peat. Kind of threw me off. And I'm getting wood. But again, I'm not getting oak per se, but I'm getting kind of a wood flavor. And I'm gonna get a lot of fruity floral notes as well. But I would say herbal, smoke, and wood by far are the three that stand out to me. So I gave it a 2.5. When we look at the color here is actually pretty copper fox copper. Makes a lot of sense. That's why my age was way off. I was thinking it was probably going to be 4 to 7, because actually when I went to the taste, which we're getting ready to talk about, I actually said it was a little young on taste, but color-wise, it was pretty dark. So I gave it kind of that traditional bourbon, kind of 4 to 7 years. And I also said it was 45, about 90 proof, which I was right on, my 125. And I said the main grain that I got from it was actually barley, malted barley, but it is a rye, and I'm gonna explain why here. I failed on that one. So here on the taste, once again, so what I remember, the malt flavors really come through to me. So I really start thinking kind of a single malt, maybe a blended Scotch. So this is why I failed the region. I didn't get the US. I thought it was more of a Scotch because I pulled in a lot of that malt. What I did learn about their rye is they use 2/3 Virginia rye, but they also use 1/3 malted barley. And I'm really pulling a lot of that malt. Again, I get a little bit of youngness, a little harshness. And I get a lot of charred wood. But again, it's not your typical charred oak, and it's not your typical peat. So I'm getting this smokiness inside of the taste, which I'm calling charred. And what I came to find out is they actually malt their barley in applewood, and oh God, it was a different wood. So they actually char it, kind of, instead of using peat, they actually use kind of an applewood. And then they actually come to find out, inside the finish, when they age the barrel, they actually put chips of the applewood in the actual barrel. So that's why I'm starting to get some of these notes that I don't really quite understand where it's coming from, and why that malted charredness is bringing me towards a Scotch. That's kind of why I failed the region as well. But again, I said taste overall, I'll call it a 2.5. It's okay. And then we go into finish. Do it one more time. The finish is clean, a little bit long. It has a weird off note to me. I get sweetness right out the gate, and it's got this weird off note kind of in the middle that I don't really appreciate. And I'm still bringing in some of that wood characteristics, probably from the wood chips. But overall, probably the least favorite part of the drink, so I'm going to give that a 2. So on the nose, 2.5, taste 2.5. Finish, we'll call it a 2. Overall, we're going to call it a 2.5. 3 for us is a par. That's a good solid whiskey, never go wrong. Buy it when you want. 4 would be a birdie. Anytime I see it on the shelves, I'm probably going to pick it up, but it's probably one of my go-tos. If I had a friend that's never really drank whiskey, I'd be, man, you got to try this one. A 5 would be kind of your Eagle hole-in-one. Man, that's about as good as you can get in a whiskey. 2 is a bogey. So I always say bogeys are okay. They don't hurt you in the long run. They're easily to make up. But anytime I give a whiskey a 2 or 2.5, that means I have to circle back and try it again. And I keep doing it with Copper Fox, hoping that I'm gonna, as my palate gets better, that maybe the whiskey will grow on me, but the rye has still not done that. And then one would be kind of out of bounds, you know, lost ball, just not real good. Wouldn't really encourage you to try it. But again, I know a lot of people that love the Copper Fox. Give it a shot. Tell me where I'm wrong. As you can tell in my blind tasting, I only got 1 out of 4. So again, if we review blind tasting, it was America. I said Scotland. Grain, I said malted. It was rye, so it was 0 for 2. ABV, I said 90s. It was 90. Check. And then the last thing would be age. I fell for the chips in the aging, that finished bourbon. And finished bourbons are always really difficult because they're putting something on top of the actual main grain that can really influence the flavor of it. And again, I think I got tricked on the color for that. So I said 4 to 7, and it was under 3. So again, hey, win some, lose some. But the beauty of blind tasting, this is how you start to learn and really grow your palate. So I encourage you to blind taste as much as possible. Cheers, Cilantro. 2.5 overall. Bogey, par. Give it a shot. Let us know. Go into golfcast.com, go into our ranking systems, drop your ranking, and also go into our forum and tell me how dumb I am. Everyone else does. Cheers, my friends.